Men, what are some deal breakers for a potential relationship, even if they're very attractive? If you can't have a civilized argument with them, if small differences at the start of the relationship already turn into screaming, shouting, insulting, etc., just think about how those important discussions later in the relationship will go. People that deal with this in any fashion are mind-blowing to me. Seeing how they speak to other people, especially when they aren't around. If they crap talk their friends when they aren't around, why would you think they wouldn't do that to you as well? Also, if they can't keep a secret. Not being able to apologize. Everybody makes mistakes. Doesn't matter. Own up to it and I respect you even more. Seek excuses. Bye. You ever had the fake apology "I'm sorry you feel that way"? Any form of, if you can't handle me when I'm a sleazebag, piece of crap, then you don't deserve me when I'm a lesser sleaze, piece of crap, you know what, you're right, later, man. Not sure if you're looking for an actual answer or not, but it supposedly came from a longer Marilyn Monroe quote during a time when photographers and critics were especially harsh towards her and her body. He admitted that heck yeah, she's not a perfect woman, she isn't all smiles, she had insecurities, she did drugs, drank too, and sometimes she could have been mean and selfish, and if you didn't like her at her non-perfect moments then you didn't need her in your life at her best moments either. Kinda like how some people would say they would rather be with someone who rooted on for them when they were poor and downtrodden up until they were rich. However, unlike many people who use the quote today, Ms. Monroe, allegedly, that's what I read, IDK the lady, made sure she acted like a decent human being towards the people she worked with and were friends with. She wasn't a complete raging bull to anyone she crossed. It's a good quote, and it's true to some extent. But as usual, narcissists usually find things like it to make themselves feel better about their behavior, and contort in such ways where the original doesn't even matter anymore. Obviously omitting or obscuring information that they think is unflattering but you would actually find out about them pretty fast. For example, living with their parents, unemployed, big sexual issues. This may not be first date conversation material, but there is a difference between not bringing it up right away and avoiding and hiding it long after it's become relevant. It's always a really crappy feeling. 2. When you catch them in the lie or they finally come clean. It's like the pressure is on you to make them feel okay with the situation and you have ignored that they were systematically deceiving you the whole time. Talking about exes too much to the line of comparing you to. Big no for me. Once when I was crying over something he did, my ex told me his previous girlfriend used to cry beautifully, like a movie star. He was a bit of a T. Thanks for the awards. No test behavior. Be straightforward or I'll assume you're likely to instigate dumb shit drama. Honesty for honesty. If they're full of themselves, can't have someone who can't joke and make fun of themselves and base his life on how many likes they get on social media. This is gonna get buried the frick in this one, but I gotta say it. Closed off, aloof. The whole line so mysterious. Look at me, Edward walking into a schoolyard. Crap annoys the frick out of me. I will never force anyone to open up to me until they're ready. But if you have a fear of opening up to me, it's a turn off. I require that mental and emotional connection with you if you want a relationship, and especially if you want a sexual relationship. I can't do that with anyone, and the only way I see someone as attractive is if I can connect with them emotionally, and I have problems connecting with people anyway. Huge red flag when they ask you for every little detail when you've been somewhere without them, that is out with friends or something, and basically accusing you of cheating, then getting overly defensive and secretive, showing really strong cheater signs themselves. Could be. I was on the opposite side of that once though. I never cheated or had any desire to, but my ex would get really defensive when I asked her about a night, where she was, what she did, etc. Her story changed sometimes and she was always evasive in her answers. I don't know if she cheated, but she was definitely overly defensive and secretive. Trust is a two-way street. Toxic behavior overall. Trying to pressure me into something I don't want to do, and I hold honesty to a pretty high regard, so any form of manipulation or toxic passive aggressiveness is over the line for me. Zero effort put into simple maintenance actions. Simply picking up after yourself is deferred repeatedly when it can be done and over in 10 seconds. inflexible mind, or unwilling to learn new things or see other perspectives, seeing the fault in others, but inability to perceive such in themselves. No accountability. In fact, having absolutely no sense of accountability for their actions. Believe me, it is more common than you think. No sense of humor. Met this girl in college, nice personality, smoking hot body, invited her over to my dorm for some Netflix and chill, and quickly noticed she had a, how to put it delicately, a severe BO problem. I'm talking rank, and when she took her shoes off it was worse than some of the guys I used to play basketball with. Okay, not a deal breaker. Maybe she just had a long day and hadn't had a chance to take a shower. Happens to all of us. So we got together a few more times, and if anything it got worse. So I tried dropping some subtle hints. She finally told me she was into something called natural hygiene and didn't bath more than once every couple weeks or ever use deodorant, soap or shampoo. Nope. My dong was screaming yes, but my nose vetoed it. I was out. Ah yes, natural hygiene, also known as smelling like crap. Handles problems badly, meaning, will become very demanding or sullen. Need someone who is calm in stressful situations. Life is full of huge problems that will need two to deal with properly. These are all good answers, but I'm surprised this one isn't higher. If you're looking for an actual life partner, you need someone who can handle their crap when the going gets tough. I avoid gossips. That overly judgmental, complaining attitude they have towards other people is what you will eventually get when you've been with them for a while. It's just what they are. I dated this chick. We'll say the one that got away. Everything clicked on every level, but during quiet moments, like bed or driving, she hated silent moments and would screech like a dinosaur incredibly loud. It always caught me off guard and drove me absolutely nuts. The whole mindset of I'm the God's gift to earth. I don't have to bring anything to the table. Everyone wants me. I got options, so I'm just going to treat you like an option, and you better be happy about it or I'm going to label you insecure and tell all your friends and family. You kinda scared me with how well you wrote this down. Too many people I know who have this mindset. Having absolutely no awareness. If she never admits she's wrong, never apologizes, never says the phrase "oh, I didn't know that," if this person is over 20, just run. Comma never says the phrase "oh, I didn't know that." Yes, that is a good one. If she starts trying to test my cool or how much she can manipulate me, that's a deal breaker. It means she's willing to be with someone if she can exploit them, regardless if she can't exploit me. Lack of respect for my boundaries. I learned this lesson the hard way once. I've got no intention of letting it happen again. Tests and indirect behavior. If you want something, tell me. I'm not playing a game just to see if I'm worth your attention. You don't treat the things I care about or respect seriously. It shows me you won't even put in the effort to act like you care. The idea of I don't have to bring anything to the table and you have to bring everything. If you're a deadbeat leech, I'm not interested in wasting my time on you. If they breathe their politics too loudly, I'm fully open to someone who doesn't perfectly align to my idea of a worldview, but if they're super loud about it, that looks incredibly cringy and tactless. I don't care if it's for something I agree with or not. There's more to life than mindless tribalism. Overly high maintenance, expects everything for nothing, more into herself than others, can't have an intelligent conversation, there's a lot. Lack of intellectual depth. If you can't entertain a line of thinking other than your own, we're done. Which also coincides with empathy. Well, in high school I was really into this one girl, and we would hang out a lot, and it started to get closer and closer to a full-on relationship. We were driving to a mall, talking about things, and it came up that her dad told her if she ever brought a black guy home he'd disown her. She stated that she would tell her kids, one day, the same thing. I immediately lost all interest in her. She now is married with kids. Man, I was hoping she just had a racist father and you wouldn't be able to deal with it, but it turns out she is racist as well. Being attractive is nothing if your personality makes up for it. An insult I should have used on a girl who wouldn't take no for an answer. Your looks are the personality. Having talked to a few very attractive women, nothing is more off-putting than just having nothing behind the looks. I'm pretty freaking done with negging behavior, playful sniping comments disguised as banter. I want to date positive and supportive people, not assholes masquerading crap behavior as flirting. Also, gaslighting. I got told once I kinda look like a serial killer. When I said I don't feel comfortable with it anymore, she said she meant it as a compliment. I left her on read and never talked to her again. The weirdest compliment I've ever gotten was "you look like a serial killer," but in an attractive Ted Bundy kinda way. I didn't know how to react to that one. If they try to cheat with me on their partners, hey, if you can't have an open conversation with your current partner and end things, then you are not worthy and belong to the streets. You're not holding on to partners because they are a safety net. Either work on your relationship or leave if you are not satisfied. Having a cake and eat it too is super unattractive. Dated a very attractive woman. Discovered she had a whole room she let her 4 cats poop on the floor in instead of a litter box. Deal broken. What the frick? Immaturity, lack of personal responsibility, entitlement, exploitativeness, manipulativeness, lack of honesty, abusiveness, clinginess, dictatorialness, lack of clear communication, lack of a personality outside of pop culture references, to name a few. This goes for any relationship, friendly, familiar, and romantic. For me, that's if they're pretty but stupid. If they have a habit of backstabbing or hating on others just to boost their ego, and the absolute attraction. Killer for me is if a woman has zero independence and clings to her parents, partner, whoever else for everything. Oh, and there's also one woman I might be in a relationship with now if it wasn't for the fact that she's a single mom with 4 teenage daughters, and that's just freaking terrifying and way beyond my ability to handle. If they have sexist expectations of men, for instance being bisexual, but acting like guys being bisexual is gross and unmasculine, or wanting emotional support, reassurance and compliments, then acting like you're not a man for wanting or needing the same, or acting like there are man jobs, while thinking there are no woman jobs, or judging you for being vulnerable or having weaknesses. Sorry, not gonna live in a prison to fit into your rigid view of what a man is, no matter how hot you are. Lack of compromise early on. I've had dates with girls where they just showed that they weren't really interested in compromise. At first, I gave it a chance, but it always ended up being bad within a couple of months. I had a long-term GF who, I discovered, was incapable of compromise. She talked a good game, but I realized her idea of compromise was that I always compromise and she always gets her way. And, yeah, that obviously isn't compromise. A reactive attitude. Please take some initiative in life, be opinionated and have some goals. If you just sit and wait to die, I can't be asked. I'm a guy but feel personally attacked. I severely lack motivation. It sucks pretty bad. Like some people would consider me successful but I just kinda did what people are supposed to do, but overall feel like I don't really give a frick. Poor work ethic, reliance on other people to provide long term. Looking for a partnership, not a freeloader. Would like to say that the money isn't the issue, it's the poor work ethic. Someone could work part-time at any job and do more in the household. I could work less and do more in the house etc. It doesn't really matter as long as there's a similar work ethic. It makes it really hard to like the girl if they don't understand that I can't be available 24/7. My last ex told me that I didn't pay enough attention to her. I worked 2 jobs with 12-hour work days, and I still did everything I could to make sure I was with her. When a girl don't understand that there are other things in life to do besides BOTP with each other day and night, I just can't. Racism, obviously. As a blonde-haired, blue-eyed white dude, I tend to attract weird white supremacist women every now and then, and that can be a bit of a head spinner. Otherwise, lack of independence and using gender stereotypes as an excuse is a big one. The I must have your attention 24/7 attitude no matter what. Your friends and family no longer matter and you must ask for permission to be away from me for any period of time and that time must have a strict endpoint. Into astrology. Any person who blames their crappy behavior on random star alignments is not an adult. We're navigating life, not the 7 fricking C's. I'm sorry I ghosted you and argue with you all the time. I'm an asparagus. No Cindy, you're a bee. Possessive people. I'm not yours, you're not mine. We chose to share our lives together and we have to make that choice again every day. Let's build a project together, but we each still have our own individual projects to balance. Needing constant reassurance or constantly texting, and I do mean constantly. You need to be a functioning adult, and believe it or not, I don't need to talk with someone every second of every day. Excessive sanctimony and language policing. A healthy amount of political correctness is fine. Obviously some things aren't considered acceptable to say, but it's very difficult to be around someone when talking to them feels like walking a minefield of things you didn't know were offensive. This reminds me, one time I went on a first date with a guy and the bar was playing a music video of a girl that looked a lot like Lizzo. I told him this and he said I was racist for doing so because that was not Lizzo. It's not so much that they think it's attractive, but that some of them think it's manly or makes them tough macho guys, neglecting hygiene and not cleaning themselves properly because they think it'll make them feminine or girly. Showering with soap, washing your butt, wiping your butt after you take a crap, keeping your nails trimmed, and not walking around with toenails that look like they're covered in mold or fungus doesn't make you effeminate or revoke your man card. It literally just means that you understand how the human body works and that you understand the importance of taking care of yourself and your health. I don't know why this happens, but there are so many guys out there who smell gross, have visibly dirty hands and or skin, or just walk around looking musty and unkempt. And not all men are this way, of course, but I've met way too many men who just have no concept of basic hygiene, and I feel like at least part of it comes down to some weird image some of them have in their minds that caring about your physical appearance or hygiene makes you girly or gay, or whatever. One time I dated this girl who stated, "I wish I was man so I didn't have feelings." Think she read that balls off Twitter. I stopped talking to her shortly after. Already having kids. I've tried relationships like that and there is always a whole bunch of extra balls that comes in about 3 to 4 flavors. Kudos to men who don't care and can deal. I cannot. Plus I love the ones who try to hide it but then call you a dishonest pig when you find out and are upset you were deceived for multiple months. Not my situation, but a friend who is open to marriage but doesn't care enough to pursue it for the last 30 years. When the kids are preteen they hate you cause they're competing for mom's time. As teens, just buttholes. Early 20s the kids are happy to see you and hope you marry her so she'll stay out of their business. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.